You can't rush art.
What is up, everybody? Dave Webster, ID Crisis Design here. I don't have a lot of time. I take off for work in a little bit. You're probably going to hear the dog bark. Other people are going to come home from work, and well, what can I tell you? Let's see. I want to make sure I'm sharing this. So, main thing behind this stream is just like a couple of developments here. I've, I've got this. It's old. It's not the oldest one I got, but it's old. I got this old Mac. It's a 2008 Mac, and in all of the streams where I was able to perhaps draw. In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger if it's possible to. Yeah. Anyways, my point is what I had going on was. Sorry, I'm really testing the limits of my brain here. Talk and draw at the same time. On page one's stream a couple times. I tried doing some drawing and streaming at the same time, and I couldn't do it because I had this lag to the pencil, and it's very hard to see what you're doing. I couldn't stream and draw at the same time because my graphics card was just way too old. And I'm not doing anything super specific here. I'm just gonna try working out a figure real quick. And this like it says in the description, the software is new to me. I'm not new to using software like this. I'm working with an Intuos 3 Wacom tablet and my pen here, and I've got the monitors set up. But the biggest here, actually, I might need to slide this over in case somebody shows up with comments. Clip Studio doesn't like seeing apparent on my setup. I can't see all the palettes on the same window that I'm drawing with, so they were covering up the comments. Anyways, so I had this old graphics card. It wasn't doing what I needed it to, and so I got a new one, a new to me, and it had a couple of ports in the back that were they looked so similar. I was like, oh great, I can just plug in my Mac, my cinema displays, and I'll be off and running. Well, I could only get one of them to work because one of the ports in the back was a DVI-I, the other one was a DVI-D, and I waited for this adapter to come, and it didn't work. So I just basically broke down and okay, I guess I managed to. I must have hit something on the keyboard, muted myself. Anyways, one out of two monitors is on the ground there, and I got this guy. Is that fairly inexpensive, $250 LG. Cool thing about this is it spins. I can go 90 degrees with it. I was messing around with it yesterday, and full disclosure, I don't know if it's worth it because I have to go into the monitor settings into the computer, tell it that I'm spinning it, and then go into the Wacom settings and tell it that I'm spinning it. So unless I'm working on a something super elaborate where I want to be seeing full page, 11 by 17, I don't know that I'm ever going to do that. Spin it around because I have to spin it, change all these settings, and then just because once you do that, up is left and down is right, and everything's all like super messed up. I'm not going to go for any kind of an elaborate pose here. I just want to do something that's looking up slightly, or at least where I'm looking up at the character's head here. But once I got this worked out, I've been like chomping at the bit to get on here and see how it works with streaming. So the card worked out great. I got this other monitor, and it's got have it plugged into the display port, and I still have my old Mac monitor there. So far so good. Um, yeah, because it was kind of funny. There was some cats, uh, especially Jimmy, and I reminded that he said it. It is funny. I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer, this, that, and the other thing, and he goes, well, how old is your computer? Like it's a 2008 um, Mac Tower that I've been, maxed out with RAM. Uh, it's got a 3 terabyte solid state hard drive in it, and all the other hard drives that are in there for storage. And it's my own Frankenstein thing happening. So, man, this is some sensitive stuff. I might have to mess with the sensitivity settings in here, but the shoulder broad enough. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and see if I was going to be able to stream and draw at the same time and not have that nasty lag. And so far, so good. Yeah, I took that adapter and just like toss it in the trash. It's like a $10 piece of garbage. It's not worth. I could potentially make doing a piece of artwork make $50 in the time that it takes to return. Who's this? Yeah, I'll answer that later. But yeah, the software is new. It feels nice and smooth. There's a couple of things that I wish it did better with straight lines like Procreate. I like when you do in Procreate where you draw like this, you hold your line, and then it straightens it out. That's not the case here. You have to hold your shift key down and then do things like this. But you can also constrain it to 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and it'll snap to a degree on Procreate. And my plan, although we'll find out how well it works out. My plan is to do some work in Procreate, do some work with Clip Studio Paint. I mean, who doesn't have Photoshop? And then do some traditional stuff too. On the table over there, I was actually debating on whether I should do that or do this, but I ended up, I don't know. The day never goes how you planned. I had a customer stop over with a glove box to pinstripe, and so we ended up talking for a while. Gonna get a copyright strike because my my text theme is a kick-ass Megadeth guitar riff. I might need to change that up one of these days. But yeah, I just going loose here. I'm just doing a basic figure. This does not correlate to anything that I'm writing. Although, who knows? It's just a basic figure. I can put all kind of clothes on them. I'm still working out some of the intricacies of the story. As in, I don't know anybody else who's writing, and I've got help, which I definitely need. It's the difference between where do you constrain yourself to realism, and where do you let go of that so that your story is not boring. But I do want the characters to think and act as if they had a brain in their head. Like I've said before to my let me see here if this is how this would work. I think his neck is a little bit too tall. Yeah, this looks about right. Do I get a eraser when I turn around here like that? Yes, I do. All right. It's always the thing that I'm worried about whenever I get into a new piece of software is how much of the hotkeys and the shortcuts and stuff that really make your workflow faster. How much does that translate from the software that you did know to the software that you don't know and are desperate to learn? Because you know, it whoops, sorry guys, I'm on the wrong thing. Where do we go? What's the hotkey for pencil? P? No, that's a pen. L. Go up there and look. If I sit it on there, it'll tell me. Pencil P. Okay, I hit P. Pen, pencil. Okay, so hit it twice. Got it. Um, blah blah blah. Things I was saying about. Oh, yeah. I totally dig this Clip Studio Paint. And you know, for the people who are telling me that I need to upgrade my computer, I do. I hear you totally correct. But if I want to spend $600, it's going to get me a little bit closer. I can still get a good 2 years out of this. Well, technically 329 for the graphics card. I don't plan on doing any more upgrades. I will be getting another computer at some point, but if I'm going to upgrade into another Mac, that's going to take some time. Those things are expensive. Um, you know, once you're into a computer system for a while, it's really difficult to go in another direction because so much of what you're using your software is proprietary, and you know, I don't know. I just like the way I like the way that the Macs are engineered. I understand that it's a little bit more, you know, limiting when it comes to availability of stuff, but that's been changing and getting better over the years. I mean, I've been using Apple products literally since I was in grade school. The school district that I was in, to give you guys an idea of how old I am. Um, Reagan was in, I believe, his first term, and we were using Apple II E's in our class. Yeah, the first computer I had was an Apple IIc. The floppy disk, 5 and a quarter inch floppy disk. The video game system we had an Intellivision, which had this really, like, if you were really into the game and you lost yourself in the game, because the controller had this, it didn't have a joystick, it had a disc that you would, it was basically a disc that was on this teeter point in the middle. So, you know, top, and you would work it back and forth. And man, if you crank down on that thing for a good couple of hours and you'd never done it before, you'd end up with a water blister on your thumb from all the friction. But that would not make you stop playing. Freaking addictive as all get out. So let's see here. 48. Anyways, all right. So should I start talking about the story? Start talking about the book. I'd like to think that it's unique, in that, you know, when a lot of superhero stories, there's some, I don't want to say like un, well, here it is. There's that, like, that unrealistic thing. You're a billionaire, yes. Your toys are very cool, yes. But you know, there's just you know, something about superpowers that is interesting. But I always thought it was more interesting to think about, like, you know, if something was so tragic that caused a normal person to get into the vigilante and be and be a superhero? What would it really look like? What would they be capable of without being so practical that it's boring? Um, and as it turns out, the way that the story is being written, um, as I'm laying out my pages and looking at the script, I'm realizing that yes, there is so much crap that's happened to this one character inside of a 24-hour period that anybody would go absolutely nuts. What is the type of thing that makes a normal person go um, go absolutely batshit? I don't mean like run out into the streets and start shooting people batshit. I mean a a premeditated. I'm going to, and because it's necessary, I'm going to bring down this corrupt system. It's going to be me, and with the help of some friends, which is one of the things I want to make it like realistic about it. Um, some nobody who is capable of doing something like Bruce Wayne, and even Bruce Wayne needs friends. Bruce Wayne has to have Alfred help him out. So what the story is a master mechanic fabrication, a guy who works on hot rods and motorcycles and cars and stuff like that. If you've ever been in a machine shop, which is part of my full time employment, I'm surrounded by some uh, some severely advanced machines that make some really complicated geometric shapes. That I'm going to bring this arm out here and kind of do a fist like this instead. Um, that even somebody who's skilled, who's working with a lathe, can make some really interesting stuff, and custom make exhaust manifolds or um, motorcycle foot pegs or brake handles and things like that. And there's so I'm asking the question, what would somebody who knows how to do all that stuff, what would they be able to make? In other words, um, if you're Bruce Wayne, but you don't have an R&D division, you don't have a Lucius Fox, you just have your raw materials, your knowledge, and what would you be able to produce? And what I came up with is a what would really scare you? Um, what would really scare me is if I saw somebody who looked like they were an escapee from a mental institution chasing after me with a pair of meat hooks. So that's basically what I created. And you know what? There's no reason why we can't just actually. This is not a bad idea to figure out exactly how this is going to work out, because our character wears something like this. And this isn't going to be the first time I've used something like this, but isn't there a kneaded eraser? Yeah. There it is. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's going to be such a pain in the ass. I want to. Oh, okay. All right. Subtool. I need to bring. This is something that Clip Art Studio is doing weird to me. Yeah, I need to be able to get my tool settings over here. Sorry guys, I'm learning all about this for the first time ever, and there's things that I need to drag over onto this side. Okay, is this how this is going to work? Do I want to put this here? Yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, Clip Art Studio Paint doesn't necessarily like me putting. It's weird. Like the main menu bar that you would normally see up here is over on this monitor to the left. But I'm making it my own. I just hope it stays this way. I'm going to have to like save configurations and stuff. So needed eraser. Okay, this is how this goes. Yeah. Nifty. Yeah, I'd seen somebody doing that once before. So our hero is when he first starts off, he's wearing an old welding mask because he just needs to hide his identity and is so much of an amateur that he doesn't stop to think that this might limit his view. He doesn't know that he's going to be getting into any like super physical action. He's just kind of trying to intimidate people with something that looks crazy. He's also going to be wearing a straight jacket, one that is like a replica of Harry Houdini's. And the reason why this matters at all is because in our character's backstory, he is a very talented fighter, just natural talent, the kind of thing that his younger life being not so great. He would lash out in anger in school, and he ends up actually finding avenues where he can use that anger and just naturally progresses into like a state championship wrestler. But he ends up going through that blue collar path of wanting to make he's into cars, into machinery, and this is how he likes to create. But he never stops. He never stops his pursuit of fighting and in competition. So he has a bunch of he's got a lot of skill in a lot of different martial arts. Now, we're not talking about anything like a Shang-Chi or anything like that. I wanted to keep this as practical as possible, but still make it unique. And I don't want it to be implausible. Like a Batman is implausible. Some of the stuff that happens there, and a lot of what happens in this book, I'm calling it Asphalt. A lot of what happens in this book is not like straight up detective work, but there is mystery involved, and I want it to be a something that people can sink their brain into, but also be able to look at it and kind of go like, yeah, I can see how something like that might happen. I want the bad guys to be interesting. I've pulled out some of these images before on other streams, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get this set up the way that I've got it, set up so that I can, talk about it and build some interest while I'm chipping away at it and learning the different software, learning about, storytelling and the best way to fund something like this. There's a lot of different things that I'm going to need to learn, and I kind of want to be open about it. Like I definitely don't want to come at this thing where like I know everything there is to know. I know that I've got a talent, and I need to, much like our character here. What size? Oh, sorry, somebody's messaging me about Gold Leaf. I want to take the talent that I have and steer it, much like our character is, steering the things that he's good at, and he has to harness it and direct it in towards saving his daughter who goes missing. Let's see. We were doing this. Let's see, it's supposed to look like a straight jacket here. Put a buckle there. So one of the reasons why this is a Houdini's straight jacket is that, and I honestly don't know exactly where I'm going to work this in. A lot of this stuff is still in my head, and it's not like main plot points. It's supposed to be like just little little aspects to the character, little aspects to the story that kind of make him unique and makes him seem more real. Okay, so in wrestling, there's a scoring system. I don't claim to know everything about it, but I do know about the reversal. And unless things have changed drastically since I went to high school, when you got a point system, a reversal is worth 2 points, and it is some people are good at getting out of some people are good at holds, and some people are good at getting out of holds, and that is one of our main characters, our hero's things. He is good at getting out of holds, to the point where he earns the nickname Houdini. Now that's not the character's name. I'm not going to do that. It's just a small. Sorry, I gotta answer this real quick. Real quick. Um, Luco. Oh, for crying out loud. Autocorrect. Um, Dux. DUX. Somebody's asking me about gold leaf size, and I mean it's not unlike the rest of this stuff. I mean, how many different kinds of software do I have? How many different I like trying all kinds of different stuff. When it comes to like striping and lettering brushes. I've got ways to do digital stuff here, and I've also got pens and quills and pencils and stuff over on the art table. My plan is, and a lot of this is not going to be happening until November. I keep telling myself, and one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up for everyone else to see is because, or to hear rather, is because it's about making sure that you hold yourself accountable to the things that you said you were going to do. This is something that I wanted to do since I was a kid, and my art career just ended up going in a different direction, mostly because I was either intimidated by the people that were out there doing this, and I sort of went off into a tertiary direction where I fell in love with airbrush, and that led to doing custom paint work, which led to learning how to work with automotive. I'm going to bring this jacket down. Come on, bring this jacket down. Learning how to do automotive stuff, which I am right now. I'm sick of, because it's just freaking Preston and I were talking about it. Preston Acevedo and I were talking about this the other day, and it's just so much of it is a pain in the butt, and especially when you're trying to get your customer base to understand why what you're doing is expensive, and you end up having to just like teach them, A, B, and C is the reason why you're spending this money, and you do that enough times, and it becomes more and more of a chore to not sound like you're being their teacher, or you're being like condescending, and it wears down on you. Whereas there is no, it's the image on the page, and that's it. There's no looking, which I'm sure I'm sure there's more to it than that. I don't want to speak like I'm Mike Bloomberg talking about farming. Yeah, you put the seed in the ground there, you learn how to farm. But you know, there are so many people out there who want to, when they start talking about custom paint and stuff, who they honestly, and I was one of them, which is they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what they're talking about, and that's one of the reasons why I learned how to do it myself, because I didn't want to be that person who was just giving off, or and giving out crap work because I didn't know what good work was supposed to look like. Um, so, anyways, I'm rambling. Anybody who's watching this and subscribing to this channel, just keep in mind that's going to happen. I have I believe that so many aspects of so many different things that we do are intertwined, and that it is so easy to learn one aspect of one craft and carry over the lesson of that into the other. And but anyways, I have pens, pencils, and all this stuff that I want to use, but I'm not going to be able to concentrate on it with a full-time job unless I seriously tone down this other um, aspect of my side business, which is it's just become more trouble than it's worth. I would rather pay somebody else to do just as good a job as I could do, which takes a lot of trust. And I know a lot of guys and that do that, and I think I found a pretty good fit. And so I can get to this. I want to go downstairs. I want to do my work. I don't want to get in the car and go to a shop and pay money for this space that I'm using some of the time, so that I can work really hard at getting people to kind of understand why they're paying more money than they expected for something that I just you don't have respect. The person that you're working for should at least have as much respect for the craft that you do. Um, when I do custom paint, I to the best of my ability, I try to do it with this thing in mind. I honestly don't care if the customer I mean, I do to the extent where I want to get paid for it. But whether the customer thinks it's as smooth as glass or they know what they're talking about, um, the thing that I'm worried about is they're going to be taking this to a show, and I don't want anybody looking at my work going, "Oh yeah, I see where he messed up here, or I see where this could have been, better here or smoother here, or what." None of that. Okay. Yeah. At first, we're just going to see a glass window up here, like on a welding helmet. But in the future, what we're going to have is a refined look to this. This book is going to have aspects of it's going to have aspects, and they're borrowing from so many different things. Hopefully, that it becomes its own thing. Um, there will be some Iron Man aspects to this outfit that we're seeing. There's going to be some Batman aspects to the way things are done, and how our character um, conducts himself with his bad guys. Um, it's the thing that makes I think the relationship between like the Joker and Batman um, so awesome is that it's like they say in the Dark Knight. Um, they're two sides of the same coin. So in our character, who does not give himself his own name, he is just it's going to be one of those things where he's just referred to in media or on the news by people as Meat Hook. And I mean, when somebody says Meat Hook, they'll know they'll know he'll know what they're talking about. But he's going to have help, and I really am looking forward to the aspect of where that help comes from, and in the form that it takes. Because I don't know that it's something that you thought was really cool, like when you were a kid and you were watching like Knight Rider and you had a car that could do all these things. Not to the extent where there's a car that is a superhero, but there are going to be different vehicles involved that have. I'm not going to say just as much personality, because that's going to make it sound like Speed Buggy. That Hanna-Barbera cartoon that was like Scooby Doo but with a dune buggy. Um, not like that, but each vehicle helps define the character that owns it and uses it. And it was just an idea that came to me while I was trying to think about, like, well, how is somebody who's trying to exact vengeance and find exact vengeance on the dregs of humanity and not get caught? Well, how do these other characters do it? Batman has Commissioner Gordon, and I'm like, well, Commissioner Gordon, that's one thing. That's not everything. This guy doesn't have a lot of money. In fact, one of the only things that he has going for him is his friends and his contacts. And as a team, they help our main character get the job done in our own unique way. They're all like-minded individuals. If you've ever been, in a conversation about the ills of society or all the things you're not supposed to talk about at a party, and you find, like, 5 people agreeing on almost every point, all at once. Imagine that, but then all of them are actually willing to do something about it. Or all of them are willing to. One of them is willing to do something about it, and the rest of them decide, yeah, well, since you're going for it, we're going to help and make sure that you can keep doing it for as long as you want to keep doing it. Yeah, just super crooked. I don't know. Maybe I'm working on a Dutch angle. Okay, so I mean, what am I going to do? Yeah, Ashcan. The name of the book is going to be Asphalt, and I'm gonna save this here for his. Let's see, where do we put this? I can hear my hard drive spinning up. So, but yeah, man, the software's working great, and the graphics card's doing what it's supposed to do. All of the zigs and zags aside, I mean, I can't say that I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the way that things are set up, and I appreciate those of you who are going to be seeing this in the future, that you bothered to listen to any portion of this. I hope you find some interest, and I really look forward to getting into this now that I've got this setup happening here, the way that it's supposed to go, to do this even more, and talk about our character, maybe get into some character sheets and things like that. I would like to get my my writer, and I actually ran into somebody else on Twitter who I'm looking to get in contact with as a more of a detailed consultant. Where the story takes place is in southern. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to. One of my good friends who's working on doing some custom paint stuff is, I think he's in the middle of almost destroying something. So I'm gonna have to give him a call and let him know what's happening, what to do, what not to do, or just send him the Gold Leaf video that I've created. So, all right, we'll get into it. Like and subscribe if you're digging the channel. There's the places in the description where, if I had nothing to do all day, I would be hitting all these different social media places. But I might have to get back into Hootsuite and see if there's a way to get one post and just throw it out there all at once, because going into each one is it's just a pain in the ass. But like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. This is the Comic Artist Evolution. Dave Webster with ID Crisis Design. Have a good happy Friday. Have a good weekend, and stay out of trouble. Try to stay out of trouble. See you later.